I think the best thing a horror game can do is make you feel like you're truly involved in the scenario you're put in the game. Immersion is such an obvious but very important element of making an experience scary. It's the primary reason I loved Doki Doki Literature Club. I made a whole video about it. The way the game interacts with you and your computer is literally real, and that makes you truly feel like the game affects you. Obviously, not every game has to be like that to be scary. Plenty, actually most, horror games manage to be immersive simply using the mechanics, the environment, etc. But I found a game that is easily the most immersive game I've ever played. Why? Because you are literally the focal point of the mechanics. I was looking around the indie horror games on Steam, as I do fairly often, and came across this game called enJoyTyping. And it caught my attention because the screenshots to show you the game were literally pictures of a man within the game. I read the About page and found out you needed a webcam to play the game. This very much intrigued me, so I played it, and it was genuinely one of the most interesting experiences I've had with a horror game in a while. Real quick, I will be explaining the mechanics and concept in depth, so if you want to play the game yourself, do that before watching this video. The game is free and just requires a webcam, and it's only around 15 minutes, so I'd totally recommend you check it out for yourself. I'll put a link in the description. So I booted up the game, and as you can see, I was quite confused. I wasn't exactly used to seeing my own face on the title screen of a video game. At the beginning of every level, you get an email from, I assume, a colleague instructing you what to do. The main mechanic of this game is typing. Words will appear at the bottom of the screen, and you need to type them out correctly within a set amount of time. Words will keep appearing until the timer in the top right runs out, and then you move on to the next stage. But after the tutorial level and the first stage, more mechanics come into play, and this is where the technology of this game really interested me. In this level, a hand starts to appear in the middle of the screen from time to time. You need to move your head out of the way to survive. Let me repeat that. You need to physically move your head. There are other games like this, and I've played VR games, but this idea was just so cool to me. Having to type out the phrases whilst physically dodging threats while you're literally just sitting in a chair at your computer is just so cool to me. Although I never got caught by the hand, I did misspell poetry and got my first jump scare. I will say the jump scares aren't great. It's a mildly creepy image coming towards you. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but the rest of the game is so well crafted, so the jump scares are a bit tragic. Moving on to the next stage, this one impresses me even more. During gameplay, you will sometimes hear a scream. When you hear the scream, you need to close your eyes until you hear another scream, and this legitimately works. As long as you keep your face in frame, the game can tell when you're closing your eyes and when you're not. Maybe this isn't so cool to anyone else, but I love this. It just blew me away that this indie game was able to track my actions so well, and it really made the game feel intimidating, despite nothing about it being that scary. This game doesn't feature ominous music, there aren't a bunch of creepy characters or settings, it's just simply the concept that carries the entire experience. It genuinely feels like I'm trapped in the game, and I desperately need to make sure I get everything correct. Next stage, another mechanic is introduced. The teacher doesn't like students who play on their keyboard while the bell is ringing. I don't understand how this fits the concept. I was under the impression this was meant to be a work environment, but I guess that's fine. This mechanic isn't as immersive necessarily, as it doesn't literally rely on the game being able to read your facial expression, but it still adds tension to the game and gives the player another thing to focus on. When you hear a bell sound, you need to stop typing. This isn't super challenging, but once again it adds to the experience. The next and final stage introduces another mechanic that I really like. When you hear an ominous voice say, "hide," you need to fully move out of frame. This isn't as impressive as the closing your eyes mechanic, but I still think it's sick. Never have I played a game where I needed to literally get the fuck away from it. Oh yeah, this is also the point in the game where the words suddenly become outrageously inappropriate. This is a little stupid. If you made the words creepy, I'd understand, like if they said death, kill, murder, etc. But no, they say fuck ass and faggot. I don't know why, but so be it. It was this last level that I actually found the game pretty challenging. You have to remember to close and open your eyes at the right time. You need to move your entire head away from the screen at the right time. You need to stop typing when the bell goes off. You need to stay away from the middle when the hand's coming, all while keeping up with the words, typing them correctly as quickly as possible. Once again, it's this stuff that really makes me feel immersed in a horror game. My actions decided my fate, and the game was legitimately watching me and monitoring me. When you beat this final stage, you get one last email thanking you for your services. The end of the email says, "As a reward, we will give you the opportunity to evolve to a higher plane and join us in our greater goal." And the game closes. And this next detail is yet another thing that blew my mind. So, the game closes. There's no question about it. It closed. But then this sound played. I got chills. I know nothing about game design. I like games, and I review games based on my enjoyment and experience with them, but I have no idea how the game was able to play a sound effect with the game literally no longer running. I'm sure some of you know, but this shocked me. This was above and beyond anything I experienced with Doki Doki. Doki Doki altered files, which was really cool, and I love that stuff, but it makes sense that a program you downloaded can change files that directly affect said program. But playing the sound of a fucking knocking at the door while the game is literally not running or active whatsoever is terrifying. I really loved this game. It was really short, but it was fantastic. I've never had an experience like this, and this game is completely free and from an indie studio. That's wild to me. That's all I have to say. This game is great, and I'd love to see whoever made this piece of work make some more shocking projects in the future. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you had a good time. Please hit like and subscribe to show some support. It means a lot. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I'mTheBaddest or click the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'll see you guys next time.